Namaste students. In the previous class, we have studied about the urinary system. That we have studied the kidney and internal structure of the kidney and parts of the urinary system, that are kidney, ureter, urethra, urinary bladder, sphincter muscle, etc. As well as we also study the internal part of the kidney. It has two parts. Outer part is a cortex and inner part is the medulla. And you have studied the micturition process. So that is a urination or micturition process. How the urine will passes from the urinary bladder to the urethra and it comes out of the body. That is a micturition process. In today's class, we are going to study little bit more, because in each organ there is a one of the structure and functional unit is there. So in the here kidney also, the nephron act as a structure and function unit of the kidney. So in today's class you are going to study detail about the structure of the nephron and what are the main functions of these nephrons. Each kidney comprises of millions of complex structures called uriniferous tubule or nephrons. These nephrons are the structural as well as functional unit of the kidney. Nephrons are the structural and functional unit of the kidney. This nephron is also called as renal tubules or just kidney tubules. There are 2 million in number if both the kidney having the nephron. There are millions of nephrons are there in the kidney. Now we can study detail about the structure of the nephron. First one, Malpighian body. Malpighian body consists of two parts. One is Bowman's capsule and is the glomerulus. First we can study Bowman's capsule. It is a hollow cup-like structure. It is made up of single-celled thick epithelium. It has a single cell. The cell is epithelial cell. And it is a cup-like structure. It is pressed deep on one side. The one side, this Bowman's capsule is pressed deeply. Its internal space continues into the tubule. Its internal space then continues into the next part of the nephron, that is called as a tubule. The outer concavity of the cup lodges a knot-like mass of blood capillaries, that is called glomerulus. In a cup-shaped Bowman's capsule, we can see a network of blood capillaries or knot or mass of blood capillaries, that is called as a glomerulus. Next part, glomerulus. It is a knotted mass of blood capillaries that emerges out from Bowman's capsule. It is a mass of blood capillaries. It is present in the cup-shaped Bowman's capsule. One end of glomerulus is attached to the renal artery, which brings the oxygenated blood to the kidney, and at the other end comes out as a blood capillary. This blood capillary surrounds the tubule of nephron and finally joins a renal vein. Here the glomerulus, when the renal artery enters inside the kidney, it divides and it forms efferent arteriole. That efferent arteriole, when it comes in the cup-shaped Bowman's capsule region, it again divides, it forms capillaries. That capillaries look like a mass. So that mass of blood capillaries which is present in the cup-shaped Bowman's capsule is called glomerulus. And these capillaries and come out from this cup-shaped Bowman's capsule in the form of efferent arteriole. This again divides, it forms blood capillaries and surrounds the next part of the nephron. And finally, these capillaries rejoin and form renal. This Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together called Malpighian capsule or Malpighian body. The glomerulus and Bowman's capsule together is called Malpighian capsule or Malpighian body. Next part, renal tubule. Renal tubule consists of following regions. First one, proximal convoluted tubule. It is called PCT. Proximal convoluted tubule, or it is called first convoluted tubule. It is the starting convoluted region of the tubule. It is the first convoluted region we can see in the tubule. That's why it is called proximal or first convoluted tubule. And it lies nearer to the Bowman's capsule in the renal cortex. It lies nearer to the Bowman's capsule. That's why it is called proximal. It lies nearer to the Bowman's capsule in the renal cortex region. That's what is called proximal convoluted tubule, or it is called PCT. Next part, loop of Henle, or it is called Henle's loop. It is a middle U-shaped part of the tubule. It looks like a hairpin-like structure. It is not convoluted. It is a straight line structure. It is not convoluted. Convolute means coil-like structure. It is not a coil-like structure. It is a straight. So it is not convoluted. It has two limbs, an ascending limbs and a descending limbs. It has two limbs, descending limbs and an ascending limbs. It is a middle U-shaped structure and it lies in the renal medulla region. This loop of Henle, it lies in the renal medulla region. Next, distal convoluted tubule. It is called DCT. Distal convoluted tubule, it is called DCT. So, it is also called as a second convoluted region. It is the second convoluted region, and it is further or away from the Bowman's capsule. So this convoluted tubule, it is away from the Bowman's capsule. That's why it is called distal. Distal means away. It is away from the Bowman's capsule. That's why it is called distal convoluted tubule. Here, ascending limb on entering the cortex becomes convoluted is known as distal convoluted tubule. The ascending limb of loop of Henle, when it enters inside the renal cortex region, it again divides or it again becomes coiled or convoluted. That part is called distal convoluted tubule. As the name suggests, it lies away from the Bowman's capsule. And this convoluted tubules, later it opens into the collecting duct. This distal convoluted tubule, later it opens into the collecting duct. Next, collecting duct or collecting tubule. Distal convoluted tubule open into the collecting tubule. These tubules then fuse to form a duct, which receives the contents from numerous kidney tubules and pour it as urine in the pelvis of the kidney. This collecting duct, it indicates collection. It collects the content from the different kidney tubules, from different nephrons. This collecting duct collects the content and it pour into the renal pelvis as a urine. So, whatever the end product we will get in the collecting duct, that is called as a urine. So that urine is later poured into the renal pelvis region of the kidney. Renal pelvis nothing but when the ureter enters inside the kidney region, it has an expanded region. That expanded part is called pelvis. So it is a renal pelvis. So whatever the urine will form in the collecting duct, then it pour into the pelvis, and through the pelvis it goes to the ureter, then urinary bladder. Now you can see only the diagram of nephron. Here there is no blood capillaries. Here only the diagram of nephron is there. In here you can see the Bowman's capsule, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT and collecting duct. Here you can just observe Bowman's capsule, PCT, DCT, they are in a same line. Bowman's capsule, PCT, DCT are in the same line, means they lie in the renal cortex region, and they are highly convoluted part of the nephron. The highly convoluted part of the nephron, they lie in the renal cortex region. That's why renal cortex has a dotted appearance. Why the renal cortex has a dotted appearance? Because Bowman's capsule, glomerulus also, Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, PCT and DCT, they are highly convoluted structure and they are lie in the renal cortex region. That's why renal cortex has a dotted appearance. And you can see loop of Henle and collecting duct, they are not a convoluted or they are not a coil-like structure. They are in a straight line structure. So that's why the renal medulla, it has a striped appearance. Renal medulla, it has a striped appearance because the loop of Henle and the collecting duct, they lie in renal medulla region. Because loop of Henle and collecting duct lie in renal medulla region, they are in a straight line structure. They are not convoluted. That's why renal medulla has a striped appearance. You can just observe in the diagram. Loop of Henle and collecting duct, they are in a renal medulla region. Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, PCT, DCT, they are in a renal cortex region. Next, blood supply to the nephron or kidney tubules. A pair of renal arteries branch off from the dorsal aorta to enter the respective kidneys. A renal artery supplies the oxygenated blood to the kidneys, and renal artery nothing but it is a branch of the aorta. This renal artery branches and rebranches several times to give rise to arteriole. You know, aorta divides to form artery. Artery again divides it from arteriole. So here arteriole supplies the blood to the inside the nephron region. Here arteriole, each such arteriole enters a Bowman's capsule under the name efferent arteriole. So when the renal artery enters inside the kidney region and again divides, it forms arteriole. That arteriole is called efferent arteriole. This efferent arteriole enters inside the Bowman's capsule and it again divides. Arteriole again divides, it forms capillaries. A number of capillaries form a knot-like mass that is called as a glomerulus. Efferent arteriole again divides, it forms a capillaries. It is a knot of capillaries or mass of capillaries, and these capillaries then fitting inside the Bowman's capsule, that is called as a glomerulus. The reuniting capillaries of the glomerulus form the efferent arteriole. This glomerulus, that capillary network, again rejoin, it form efferent arteriole. One more arteriole we can see, that is the efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole, after emerging from the Bowman's capsule, runs a short distance and breaks up into a secondary capillary network that is called vasa recta. So efferent arteriole, it emerges from the Bowman's capsule and it runs for a short distance. After short distance, it once again divides. It form again capillaries that is called as a secondary capillary network, or it is called vasa recta. This secondary capillary network surrounds the renal tubule. It surrounds the PCT, loop of Henle and DCT also. This secondary capillary network surrounds the renal tubule. Afterwards, it again rejoins to form vein. By uniting again and again with others vein of the kidney, it ultimately forms the renal vein. This renal vein, which leaves from the kidney at the median surface and pour the blood to the posterior vena cava. Later, this renal vein, it emerges from the median surface of the kidney and pour the deoxygenated blood to the posterior vena cava. This is the supply of the blood. Here renal artery, it divides, it forms efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole again divides in the Bowman's capsule region. It forms a network of blood capillaries that is called glomerulus, and again this capillary rejoins. It forms efferent arteriole. This efferent arteriole runs for a short distance. It again divides. It forms secondary capillary network. This secondary capillary network, it surrounds the renal tubule region and again rejoin and form a renal vein. The renal vein, it supplies the deoxygenated blood from kidney to posterior vena cava. This is the supply of the blood to the kidney tubules. You can see in the diagram, you can see efferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Just you observe here, efferent arteriole is wider, efferent arteriole is narrower. Efferent arteriole is wider one, efferent arteriole is narrower one. And next, in a cup-shaped Bowman's capsule, we can see a blood capillaries that is called glomerulus. This efferent arteriole emerges from the Bowman's capsule. It runs for a short distance. It once again divides, and that is called secondary capillary network. And this secondary capillary network surrounds the PCT, loop of Henle, as well as in the DCT. Here, to understand the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, they marked in the red as well as in the blue color. The red is the oxygenated blood and blue is the deoxygenated blood. To understanding purpose, they gave the different colors. In today's class, we have studied main parts of the nephron, that are Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, together is called Malpighian capsule, PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting duct. As well as he also studied how the blood will supply to the nephron region. So these are the important concept, and here they may ask why the cortex has a dotted like appearance, or why the renal medulla has a striped appearance. So this question they will ask.